Hello, family. Today I'm going to go over a quick video on imbalances in the market and gaps and how some brokers can show one thing versus the other and how you can use this to your advantage. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm on UJ and it's about 4:45 p.m. On Central Time, so 5:45 Eastern Time, September 10th, looking at the market. So the market just opened 45 minutes ago from the on the weekend. And one of the things I've noticed is that one of the gaps you'll come across is your weekend gaps. And what creates that, or what happens, is that that retail traders cannot trade on the weekends, the regular payers, because the brokers are closed. However, the banks and the big banks or the hedge funds, they still have access to the market. And so when you don't have that buying and selling transaction, that can cause and create gaps in the market. So I'm on TradingView, and you're probably wondering, well, where are the gaps? Well, it depends on which broker you're using. So when I opened this market or these charts today on the broker I typically trade with, 8cap, I saw this huge gap in the market on a 2-hour time frame along with my setup, and I immediately just thought buy, because this gap does have to be filled in. Now, the question is how soon? Gaps don't have to be filled in as immediately as if it's not driven by news. So that's the risk you have to kind of take and realize when you see these setups. Now, notice on UJ 2-hour 8cap shows the gap, but when you go to Orlando, it just shows one huge selling candle. And you're wondering, like, okay, what's going on? And this is where you have to discern whether or not is there really a gap. You can look to the lower time frame, and it'll show this big imbalance from this move. So at some point the market definitely has to close some of this, give back some of this money that has pushed the market down. So we're definitely going to see some buyers in here, they're just not here yet, and I expect them to show up hopefully before they close below this wick and keep going down. Maybe we get a nice little pullback into this area and then continue down for the sell. Now, I wasn't expecting UJ to sell immediately because the daily trend is ultimately showing up. However, we're probably at a high. If you look left, we're at like a high point where you're going to get this reaction right here from this last buying candle. So that would it makes sense why it would sell and pull back down. However, there is a setup on the 4-hour time frame where we do have another red box that needs to be retested. So I would be surprised if it gives me a small pullback and then continues down into this area for the buy. So another gap to look for is your breakout and retest gaps. In this case, what that looks like is you have an area of consolidation. So for example, this area right here is the consolidation. As you can see, support and resistance. I'm sorry, you can't get this to, there we go. Long. So between these two purple lines, you got consolidation, and then you have your breakout, but then you didn't get your immediate retest. So what should have happened is the market fake out below, push above, retest, and then buy. It did not do that, which caused an imbalance in the market, which is this yellow area between seller and buyer, which is known as a gap. If you are not experienced at looking for gaps or knowing what they look like, you can always use the indicator imbalance finder, and that will highlight the imbalances in the market. And you can learn this, you can back test and learn to see how that market fills those gaps in when you get the breakouts. So that's the other type of gap. The other one that typically happens is same thing with the weekend gaps, but the rallies. You'll have a rally of sellers of uninterrupted candles. So for example, a rally of sellers or buyers. You're looking for huge candles over extended period of time of all buying or all selling. And when you see that, you should get extremely happy because, so here's an example here. These are 2-hour candles, 2, 4, 6, 8, but these are not that big. This one's a huge one, but these are kind of small. This is a huge rally right here. Sometimes it could be one large candle, especially if it's over 100 pips. Like this one was 172. And then you have another one that dropped down like this. Just know, like, here's your retest of this big candle that dropped down, and that was on a Thursday. So it could pull back in like this and continue down, or it can make that U-turn up. And so those are fair value gaps that you look for in the market. Those are good quality trades. This one right here is definitely going to create one. And that will be our opportunity to eventually take the buy in the opposite direction. So this concludes the training for gaps and imbalances, what causes them, and then the setup for UJ that I'm looking for long term. Hopefully the buy down in this area on the 4-hour once it gets to here. I am also looking for on the 2-hour a sell opportunity because it looks like we might have one here at this red box where I would have bought at. I mean, I'm actually in for the buy, but I am using a smaller lot size because of the stop loss that I have. I have it a lot lower than I would normally have it at. And so I do expect this market to eventually give me a reaction. Take out this wick because this is pretty much liquidity down here. So take out this wick and then continue give me some buying pressure to fill in this gap. So what I'm expecting, and it might not happen, but who knows? Once it takes off this wick, I expect this market to give back at least 50% of this candle, or at least retest back into this zone. Let me show you. Take out the wick down here, retest, and then take the sell back down. So I have to wait till this candle close, the 1-hour candle and the 2-hour. Well, the setup is on both. No, let me check. So this one, yes, the 1-hour. So the setup is on the 1-hour time frame. So we'll see what happens when it gets in the next 7 minutes if this market reacts. All right, everyone, stay tuned to the next video. Happy trading. Remember to exercise proper risk management, discipline, and just keep at it. Trading is a journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Take care.